Imagine waking up to sirens blaring in your quiet cul-de-sac, only to find your prized possession, a beat-up truck that's seen more miles than most marriages, being chained up like a criminal under the glow of police lights. That's exactly what happened to me. Frank Dawson, on a crisp autumn night in Maple Ridge, where the HOA rules tighter than a noose around community standards. But oh, the sweet irony when the tyrant pulling the strings discovers she's the one about to get yanked. It all started innocently enough. Or so it seemed in this cookie-cutter neighborhood where every lawn was manicured to perfection and smiles hid simmering resentments. I'd lived here for decades. My old Ford F-150 parked faithfully in the driveway, a relic from my days hauling lumber across state lines. Folks whispered behind my back, "Frank's hoarding junk," they'd say, egged on by rumors that the truck was a fire hazard or some nonsense. I heard the gossip at the mailbox, the sidelong glances during block parties, but I kept my mouth shut, sipping my black coffee on the porch each morning, watching and waiting. Deep down, I knew the real hazard was Barbara, the HOA president, a self-appointed guardian of order who strutted around like she owned the deed to everyone's soul. Barbara was the epitome of suburban despotism, plump cheeks flushed with faux righteousness, always in pearls and a cardigan, preaching about upholding values while fining folks for overgrown hedges or unsightly bird feeders. "Frank, dear," she'd coo at the annual meeting, her voice dripping honey over venom. "That eyesore of yours is dragging us all down. Think of the property values." I'd nod politely, but inside, I chuckled at her charts showing plummeting home prices blamed on my truck. With no real data, just squiggly lines labeled community sentiment. The neighbors murmured agreement, too scared to cross her, as she manipulated votes and spread whispers that I was uncooperative or worse, antisocial. One evening, a notice slapped on my door: violation, non-compliant vehicle. Remove or face towing. I crumpled it, thinking, game on. Barb. The tension built like a storm cloud over the next week. Barbara ramped up her campaign, calling an emergency HOA huddle at the clubhouse. I wasn't invited, but my buddy next door filled me in. She projected blown-up photos of my truck, circling rust spots with a red marker like a detective on a bad TV show. "This abomination threatens our harmony," she declared, her voice quivering with dramatic flair. "We've got to act for the greater good." Laughter bubbled in my chest when he described her allies nodding vigorously, one even suggesting a rust tax. Meanwhile, the rumors escalated. Folks claimed my truck leaked oil that poisoned squirrels, or that I was secretly running a chop shop. I endured it silently, documenting every email, every snide comment. My patience a sharpened blade. Why fight now? I muttered to my empty garage. Let her dig her own grave. Then came the midnight raid, the pinnacle of her absurdity. Flashing lights pierced the darkness as the tow truck rumbled up, Barbara trailing like a triumphant general, clipboard in hand. "See, Frank, rules are rules," she smirked, her chins wobbling with glee as the chains hooked my Ford. The young cop shifted uncomfortably, mumbling about enforcing code, while neighbors peeked from curtains, some snickering at the spectacle. I stepped out in my robe, calm as a monk. "Barb, this truck's been here longer than your tenure. It's grandfathered in, literally." She waved her papers. "Oh, honey, sentiment doesn't pay the fines. Haul it away." As the winch whined, I leaned in close. "You sure about that lot you're sending it to?" Her eyes narrowed. "Of course, standard procedure." I just smiled, the kind that says checkmate. The explosion hit the next morning at the impound yard, a dusty outpost I'd quietly acquired years back during a county auction, back when land was cheap and I was flipping properties on the side. No one knew. I'd leased it out anonymously, letting it hum along. I strolled in, deed in pocket, as Barbara stormed the gate with the same cop in tow. demanding my truck be crushed for the community's sake. Her face when she saw me behind the counter. Feet up, wearing a faded yard boss cap, priceless, red as a beet, mouth flapping like a landed fish. "What in tarnation are you doing here?" she sputtered. I slapped the deed down. "Owning the joint. Barb. Since '98. And looky here, your SUV's parked in my no-zone spot. The workers. In on the joke now?" Hooked her shiny Lexus while she shrieked. "This is abuse of power." The cop chuckled. "Ma'am, irony's a harsh mistress." Neighbors had gathered. Phones rolling. As she peeled out, receipt fluttering from her wiper. Cheers erupted. Someone blasted "Born Free" from a speaker. Back home, my truck returned triumphantly, now a neighborhood legend. While Barbara's empire crumbled, resignations poured in. Her meetings, empty echoes. But here's the kicker. Was I the villain for turning the tables? Or was she for wielding rules like a weapon? You tell me, is true justice always fair? Or does it sometimes need a little toe to even the score?